I haven't done much. I did a little bit more drawing, and you can't really see it, but just a little bit more on this first panel. I'm going a little slow lately. I've been working on scripting for this comic and maybe some new comics. I get into the ink. And I admit I don't I don't work from full scripts. I have a sort of a plot outline. Like I know what's going to happen, but the toughest part for me when I'm putting down a comic page by page is I'm trying to figure out, what goes where, right? What's the, like for each page. This is my new philosophy, and this may change over time. Like I'm not above evolving on any of this. Um, First of all, comics are not about drawing. They're not about art. Anybody who says I am got a comic broadcast and then you watch what they're doing and they're just drawing characters. They're not even drawing comics or sequentials, or they might be drawing like just a picture of their character. Sometimes they're not even drawing that. They're like drawing pictures of other people's characters. I'm working on my comics, so I've got this picture of, Darth Vader that I'm drawing. Um, but like I said, comics are not really about the art. They're about the story as told through the art. And each page, I think I've said this before, in my current philosophy, should have a single beat from the top left to the bottom right. We should be accomplishing a single story goal. like, and um, you can't really stretch it across 2 pages unless you actually have a 2-page spread, which I've never um, really done. I've helped other people do them, but I've never really done one for myself. My philosophy is highly influenced by newspaper comics. How is it that a newspaper comic, like let's say Dick Tracy, can tell an ongoing story 3 panels at a time? Did people get confused, or did people get, lose track of the story? They don't, because there's a single beat just in those 3 panels. Is that there's one piece of new information and enough exposition, if it's done well, that gets you through it. A lot of people get these sort of nonsensical. They do these sort of nonsensical comics where it's like, this character's battling for 20 pages. And that's not where we're going. It's not where I'm going, anyways. Oh, I don't like. You know what? I like. I was gonna put his shoulder all the way out there. What if I pulled his shoulder in because he's falling? Let me just show you what this looks like. Yeah, I think the shoulder should be pulled in like that. Okay. Where was I going with this story? Oh yeah, you do 1 beat per page, and you should have the ending in mind, like all the way back when you do your very first page. You should have the ending kind of already in mind. It doesn't have to be like, um, that set in stone. Maybe it's better to say you should have an ending in mind. And that ending could be in 12 pages or 8 pages or 33 pages or I don't know, 100 pages. I find it hard to think that far into the future. I think if you're getting over a certain amount of time, you should probably script some of it out. I say this realizing that, you know, I have held up the example of Dragon Ball Z. That's a good example. But Dragon Ball Z, even though it's just, I like to say this one giant battle that goes on for, hundreds of pages. It's really two giant battles that go on for hundreds of pages. There's tons of story in it, battle or not. Like Kira Toriyama, he knows his sci-fi epics. It's almost a Superman story. The what are they? The Saiyans are like Kryptonians, and there's bad ones, and there's you know Goku and Gohan who were sent away at a young age, and then you got Frieza and so on. Anyways, highly recommend that particular manga. That's a great one. One of the greatest, I think, for understanding, what is a story. And it doesn't have to be boring. Like it can be a battle. A battle can be a story. A nonsensical battle cannot be a story. If there's no stakes, if there's no understanding, if there's no understanding of the characters, you know, it's not a story in that case. If we just had these two characters just battling it out, for 20 pages, um, doesn't matter what the art looks like at that point. What have you accomplished? All right. Well, anyways, of course, you know all this stuff. Okay. I gotta do some kind of action lines, and I'm probably gonna do a sound effect down here. I like it. I like where we're going here. And now it's just a matter of making it look good. This is Blaze. So today when I was at work, I was coming up with ideas, and I meant to email them to myself. I'll just have to redo it. I have the idea, like it's in my mind, for what's the next page. What is the beat of the next page? And I can just tell you. Let me go over the sequence here, in case you haven't seen it. I'm going to go one page back. Okay. Blaze, Snapper, and Celeste have broken off from Fang. Fang's off on a solo mission to go rescue the scientists. They went the other direction towards this area called the Power Core. And Snapper says, hey, there's a trap. They get dropped into a pit. And by pit, I mean it's a gigantic cavern. It's a long ways. Celeste can fly. All right, come on now. Oops. Worries me every time that app crashes. I might be ready for a new iPad. All right, come on, open up. All right, so since Celeste can fly, Blaze and Snapper fall and hit the ground. The Leatherwing guards who are at the bottom to capture them are like, weren't there three of them? Count them again. One, two. And then Celeste yells out three, shoots the guards. And we see that Celeste is flying. She goes, did you forget I could fly? So that's the beat right here. Is that it's two down, but she's up. on the next page, I think we're going to have Snapper start to get up. Snapper has regeneration. He's an alligator. He's an alligator beast ranger. Blaze is younger, but he's powerful. And he has the powerful Blaze sword. But he's still knocked out. So Blaze gets up. And just then, the leader of the Leatherwings, I think I did 2 pages. The leader of the Leatherwings, which is Vex the Vampire, shows up and he's like, all right, we're going to take them alive. They're going to be part of our plan. And, this is a classic villain bit, take them alive. I even had visions of, maybe like they get strapped to a missile or something like that. I'm not sure what the big reveal is yet. These are the things I don't plan for. I know that it's either a giant robot or a missile, right? And the plan is to strap the victims to it. And the whole reason why they've captured the scientist is also revealed. And it has to do with the DNA sequencing in their blood, right? So they're gonna they won't be affected by the force field that surrounds Cygnus colony. So the missile won't be affected by the force field. Anyways, the villain has to reveal this. That's also a classic bit. The villain has to monologue and say why I've captured you, or what I plan to do with you. Okay, what's happening on the next pages, though? Big battle. Snapper gets up unsteadily because he's still regenerating. And Vex shows up. There's a battle. And long story short, I think Snapper and Blaze get captured alive. Celeste makes it away from the area and reunites with Fang. And then then we have the other classic trope, which is, 2 heroes rescuing their friends. These guys will be strapped to the missile or strapped to the robot or something. I don't know just yet. And that is what we call the story. Okay. And it keeps the readers engaged because they want to know what's going to happen. What did the villain come up with? Why is he doing it? There's got to be all these kinds of reveals that keep the readers engaged. It can't just be, oh, you've done some amazing art or anything like that. Not that my art is amazing. I don't think it is. It is serviceable, though. And I think that's the level you have to go for. Serviceable. Understand. That's why mangas or manga are doing so well. They're not in color. And yet they do great. Why is that? They're not drawn to this high level of hyper detail. They're not freaking painted like garbage American comics that are painted on canvas or something like that. God, I hate Alex Ross. But no, they're just enough to keep you going with the story. And it can be any style. A style is just a style. It doesn't matter. As long as you enjoy it. As long as it's serviceable and um and fun. All right, I'm not so sure about these next few lines, so I'm putting them on their own layer. But it's basically these. I was sure about these because I can erase them. On that side, I can't erase them. All right, crunch, crunch, crunch. All right, let's see what it looks like. I think we're okay here. There's the axe, chong, it actually embeds itself into the cave floor. I wanna Not every line, not every line. Okay. What's the on the other? I'm on the layer 10. Good. What's the best sound effect we could put in here? Slam, wham, kathump, slack, slap. I gotta think of a whump. How about whump? French. I'm gonna show you a little sound effect trick. It might work, it might not work. You might think it looks terrible. It could look terrible. All right, we're gonna put it on its own layer for a second. I'm gonna use, I don't know, syrup. All right, I'm on my own one. I'm gonna try whump. All right, big, too big, right? Something like that. And then we're gonna use warp, something like that. And then we're going to reduce the opacity over here, and then I'm going to use the technical pen. And first of all, I want to make sure there's nothing in the way. Okay, good. Um, want to make sure there's nothing in the way of it. Okay. We're taking our outlines and we're making those we're using the thickness of the previous brush. And I'm not following it exactly. I'm kind of following it. If you don't have a digital thing, you can actually do this. I actually learned this trick from watching somebody do it with tracing paper. So, all right, let's get rid of the wump, and we'll throw in some white. Hey, hang on, we're not gonna throw it in yet. We need to make sure that we're all sealed up. All right, white. All right, let's get some black in there now. And maybe that I'm too big. Like I'm covering up the cyber axe right there. So it may be. I'm covering up a bit of. Oops, I can see where my problem is. I'm covering up a bit of Snapper's face. But his face isn't important right now. He's other than the fact that he's in pain because he hit the ground. Um, you know, we're not too concerned for him. All right, I'm not sure if this one's gonna work. Let's try it. Oh, it worked. This one will definitely not work, so let's fix it. Okay. All right, Wump. And then Chong. Maybe. All right, let's do this. Okay. Uniform. Make us smaller. All right, let's make it smaller this way. Maybe something like that. I like this because it's actually like the axe lands in front of it. Almost the axe is almost like, if I was a better graphic designer, and maybe one day I will be, I would use the axe as the exclamation point. Like, wouldn't that be cool? Like, if this were animated, it would be like crunch and then chong like that, and that would be the exclamation point at the end. All right, hang on. All right, so if we've done all these things, let's go back over here to ink. I'm putting another layer in there, and the only reason I'm putting this layer in, where is it? Just want to put a shadow layer. Oof. All right. Now you have to. This is the question. You go. Does it answer the mail? Does it sell the story point we're making that they're crashing to you know to the ground and they're not happy? Um they're badly affected by this. I think it does. Could we do it better? Yeah, we could spend hours and hours on this if we wanted to. But you also have to think in terms of, this is for all those people that spend hours and hours. How long will people be reading this panel? Like if you're, this is the let's say with the ego of artists. I'm an artist, as you can see, um, but I think that people who have this thought that I just want people to look at my pictures and like them. Um, I'm just gonna tell you that's not what comics are about. You're probably in the wrong. Maybe you can do covers. People should look at covers. The cover sells the comic. Sequential art is not about spending a zillion years because a reader is going to read. I'm going to read this single sentence of text, see the picture, read the sound effect, appreciate what's happening, and I'm going to go right on to the next panel. And you want that flow as smoothly as possible. You don't want them to stop and go, "Oh, look at how he just rendered that thigh on that lizard guy." you know. I don't know if that's going to help you. I do kind of want to. Well, I don't know if there's some action on here. They're in a darkened cavern, so I wonder, how do I make this? I think if I just did throw up like like some things in the foreground, and these could even be complete shadows. And don't worry too much about my lettering here. What I'll do is the bubble goes in front, so it's fine. Something. All right, boom, boom, boom. Let's throw that in there. Do I make them all black? Maybe I'll just leave this one. I'm gonna have my rock texture. I've broken the rule of Prado by not doing the foreground first. Well, I didn't add the foreground till the end. Joe Prado will forgive me, I hope. It's kind of funny. He was a great teacher. Sergio Cariello was a great teacher. If he would teach that class again, I would take it again from him because I don't think I was ready for his level of instruction. And there was another student in the class who was like a real jerk, so it made it very tough. All right, let's see. Where am I on? Well, I'm on the ink layer, so maybe I shouldn't be going down here. Now, if we were, we're not drawing, blood spurting out or anything like that. We're just they're crunching to the ground. They wear armor. They're tough. The Beast Rangers are super, so I mean they're superheroes, so they can take a little bit. Oh, let's do like a little bit of a rim light. And let's also let's go to uh, bubbles. Make a special bubbles layer. It's coming from off camera. That's one of the Leatherwing guards that pulled the trap. All right. I don't like this up here. Um, what's this up here? Did I do that? No, it's not on there. Could it be here? Nope. Could it be here? Nope. Could it be here? There it is. All right. Oh wait, I want to have Gasinki ink. We're hinting that there's more caves behind them. You don't want to skimp on detail. You want to have enough detail that sells the scene, and you can put more in. There's nothing wrong with that. Now I know it's a shiny axe. We have another option, which is we can halo the sound effect to make it pop more. So what I'm doing is I'm erasing a thin line, a very thin line, around every part of the sound effect. And you don't need much. You can see how it's like a micron pen's thickness here. If we were to do this in traditional, it might be a gel pen or something, that we would do this with. Oh, you don't like that? What's going on here? Oh, it's part of the other one. Okay. And you can see even at a distance, that little white line seems to make the sound effect pop forward a little bit. If you don't think you can make comics, you probably can. It isn't about having great figure drawing skills or great skills in general. the real skill that you need, and I'm about to do this again. The real skill that you need is composition. You know, you need to think of where your figures are, how you're telling the story, and pacing. Everything else you can chalk up to style, you know? Right, hang on. Some people get annoyed when people bring up One Punch Man as, you know, an example of ones. That's what he goes by, one. Um, Being an amateur, he originally was the guy that drew it, and then he got um, Murate. I can't remember the guy's name. The guy that does Eye Shield 21 is the guy that took over drawing One Punch Man. And of course, he brought some real skill to it. Like, that's real skill. It's no joke. One Punch Man is drawn really well. Um, but he didn't fundamentally change what was going on. And that comic, by the way, was a hit even before it had the pro artist doing it. It was already a hit. But you got to think in terms of story always. I think this one answers the mail. I mean, I could add more. You can always add more, right? Textures. This is a furry texture, fuzzy, furry surface. Oh, shoot. I nearly screwed up. Blaze has these like leg guards that are. Oh, wait, then they're not there. I screwed up again. They're over here. So actually, let me fix that. Keep your keep your characters on model if you can. But like I was just looking, you know, if you look at the early um, Captain Marvel, like Captain Marvel is not drawn like it's drawn like a newspaper comic, but it's delightful. It's awesome. You can go watch it, look at it over at Comic Book Plus, and that was a huge influence on me. Like that was the original influence. The reason it's called the 9 volt, in fact, is we wanted to do something like, you know, Whiz or Thunder or, you know, Zap. There's already a Zap comics. There's already a Whiz comics. So something with energy, you know, and also I think it's called Whiz. It's an anthology, and I think, you know, like we could have a 4-story anthology. I can't remember all the stories that are in Whiz comics, but you know, one of them's obviously Captain Marvel, and one of them's Ibex the Invincible. Ibex the Invincible. One of them's Spy Smasher. That's 3. One of them's like an adventurous sailor who gets in battles with pirates. You know, like something like that. Captain Billy's Whiz Bang. That's what the original was called. All right, that's answering the mail for me right there. All right, I got 34 minutes. I'm going to continue on and probably work on this tonight. I got a whole weekend to cruise through this. And I didn't write a script, but I wrote an outline for my next 2 pages, which would be, this is 9, it'll be 10 and 11, which will be potentially like a double page spread, but it's in each page that I did is actually, it's just 3 panels because it's a battle. I tend to go with fewer panels if I can. My average panels are 5. This is 4. If we're to go and look at every page, it's usually 5. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. That's a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the average. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's an inset. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is the usual for me, though. And anyways, maybe I'll do a light source coming in this way. I'll put it on another panel, on another layer, and see how it looks. Then I can drop it off if I don't like it. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and there will be more comics every single day. I try not to ever miss a day. Life is what it is. Sometimes you miss a day. We're not slaves. Slaves to the rhythm. All right. Talk to you later.